What's happening, folks? Episode 32, based in reality. I'm Mike J, of course. If you haven't done so, please subscribe to the channel. YouTube, Rumble, Parlor I've been using, and Twitter and Facebook. Like I said, I don't use much. Okay, so let's get into this. Um, this is a video I've been wanting to do for a bit, but I held off. Now, I've noticed I was driving to get coffee this morning, and I had heard the Breakfast Club speaking, and they were oddly calm today. It's like Trump was messing with these people's minds so badly, and even now they're like, there's a chance that Biden is just going to be the president. So they're like full on, just like politics is off the off the table now. I mean, mind you, I only listened to it for about 10 minutes, but it seemed like before, if you tuned in at any point, it was fucking Charlemagne the Lisp. Listen, guys, this, and that, he was going off about fucking Trump or whatever. This is giving them like a calm. It's very telling. It's whether or not Trump was. He's not everything that these idiots said. They couldn't stand seeing him in there because he didn't stand for all the bullshit they stand for. And that's all it is. And that's why the Trump movement was cool. Okay. And I know it's cringy to say now because it's 2020 and it's not 2016, but the Trump movement was cool because it was counterculture. It wasn't everything going with the establishment and everything going with the grain and all these companies support Black Lives Matter, this terrorist organization. Well, I better too. I'm Joe Biden. I got to support this. And just everything else, the LGBT bullshit, satanic fucking cult, just all of it. And that's why it was enticing. That's why it was so popular in 2016. And I know there was a lot of channels in the last 4 years saying, by 2020, this is going to get really cringy. And it did. It wasn't the cool movement of 2016. You can see it during all the live streams and everything. There's some names that are, all about um, the logistics and everything. But if you look in 2016, man, it was like, we're pissing these fucking people off. It's hilarious. And that is what enticed a lot of people. That's what enticed me. I've been a contrarian my whole life. If it's everybody, and I mean, that's even cringy to say that you're a contrarian, but what I mean is, if all of you just have to go with the grain, then I'm like, why? Like, that doesn't seem fun to me. That's why I wear a Ramon shirt. That's why I wear, Sex Pistols, things like that. These people were not afraid to just go against all the bullshit that people want. And if you look at the 90s, punk rock was going against the GOP. GG Allen, there's many interviews of him saying, I fucking hate Republicans. I hate that they stand for this. I hate conservatives because they stand for this. And somewhere, everybody likes to talk about the big switch of when the GOP became racist. That never happened. A switch did happen where the GOP started going for big business and things like that. And but even now, it's like it's switched back again. Like, if you look at the 90s when people were getting mad about certain art and certain artists and things like that, they were getting mad about there was an art piece called Piss Christ. What it was like, It was like a crucifix submerged in this artist's piss. Okay, and the conservative Christians hated it, and they wanted it banned, and they wanted it out, and because of that, all of the punk rockers, all of the cool like underground graph artists, all those guys, they were like, fuck these guys. Why are they trying to censor everything? Well, that ended up switching. Like, I know a lot of people know that in colleges and things like that, it's always been more left leaning, and they're the ones that have been, pushing like uh, censoring of certain things. But mainstream, it was Christian conservatives that were against certain things. They were against rock music in the 80s. Remember this? This is a big thing that the left still tries to bring up. Rock music molested me, or whatever the fuck they used to say. The irony of that being said. But, and then in the last, 20, 30 years, it's been the left completely censoring everything. And that was the whole thing. The world was going a certain way, even with Bush. I mean, I know that back in those days, the um, the left would say that Bush was Hitler and blah blah blah, like all the same shit they said about Trump. But now they love Bush, and you know why they love Bush? Because he was a neocon. He was essentially a leftist that said he liked God. That's the only difference. The guy was a warmonger. The deaths on that guy's hands is disgusting. Like him and his dad. And the funny part is like it was mostly Cheney running. It's like essentially what's happening right now with the Democrats. The vice president is going to be in control, and the president's going to kind of take the back seat here. That's how it was with Cheney and Bush. But like I was saying, it's like it was so much cooler than going with the flow of everything else. Like the whole Obama years, it was like everything was going a certain way. Okay, trans bathrooms, we're going with this, we're going with that. Okay, you're born a man, but you want to fight women. Okay, go ahead. And everything was going one way, and then Trump put a fucking monkey wrench in that plan. And that's why it was cool. It's like somebody's finally standing up for the people that don't agree with everything else. And then the movement got co-opted big time by, very cringy people. The whole making all the songs and the dances, just all of it was, and it turned off a lot of people that were like, yeah, this is cool. This is counterculture at the time. And because of that, I feel like that was partially why, you know, everything was so low energy this year. Everything was so low energy. All the live stream, everything. And whether or not I think that Trump will prevail through this, like I feel like he probably will, you know, get through all the litigation and everything. I mean, he may not. There's a lot of things that he has to win in order to win the presidency back. Because a lot of those states flipped very oddly, but it's like everything. It wasn't the cool counterculture it was, and it got very cringy in the last couple of years because it's turned all the people that thought it was like cool counterculture in 2016 to fucking dorks. And I'm sorry if that bothers somebody, but look at the conversations that are on Facebook anymore. If you're like Trump, blah blah blah, yeah, well, cite your sources. Okay, and then they send that like their little page of stuff to read through, and then oh well, this is an article that contradicts this, and well, it's like guys, it wasn't cool at one time to be like, cite your sources and give me that. That was dorky shit, man. That was debate club shit in high school. it just doesn't seem that appealing to a lot of people anymore. Once you get cool people doing this shit, like, give me your graph. I want to see your numbers and I want to see your graph. And it's like, this is what turned me off from a lot of the certain people. Mind you, I still am very supportive of Trump. I like the whole movement. But I can see why people weren't as energized as they were. It's gotten very nerdy. And if take a second to take yourself out of it and look at all these leftist Facebook pages or all these leftist Twitter pages. Think about it from somebody that isn't telling people that you need their sources for certain information. And you see their Facebook or their Twitter page and this is their only personality. Mind you, I made a YouTube talking about culture and politics. But I specifically didn't choose just politics to do this, my channel, because I don't want it to be just politics. This is why I've talked about rappers and I've talked about, other things. Because I like the culture aspect of everything. The whole cite your sources bullshit, I don't like. You know what I mean? Like, that's why I talked about Cadillac Ron and his effect on censorship and things like that. And how, he would cross lines intentionally to be politically incorrect. And that's why I specifically said I didn't want to politicize him. I don't want to put him like in that kind of light. I want to talk about the culture aspect of it and how, censorship has affected life in general. But I just, like I said, it's like all the cool things about what happened with Trump and stuff like that. It's gone. Like, it's all those cool things about like him being counterculture and stuff. It's like it's gone. It got real and was too politicized. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't like where people were like guys like Johnny Rotten rocking Trump shirts. Do you think he's, on the internet going, cite your sources, tell me your whatever, like, give me your information? No, he's doing it because it's cool, and it's like it's against what all these other idiots want to do. Mind you, he does support Trump just like I do, but it's like we don't want to be these armchair politicists or armchair pundits. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to know the strategies of what they're gonna do. It's like I want to see him win, and I want to see him fucking piss people off. I want to see him bother all these fucking annoying people. I like the wrench he's thrown in there. Yeah, it's irritating when they call him names that he's not. I get that. Because it's like he's not any of these things. But it makes it funnier. Like, it makes it better when he does that. And if anybody thinks that anything's going to change under Biden, like all these Twitter idiots that have their entire profile flip blue, flip this, blue tsunami, blah. If any of those people think that the country is going to drastically change because of a Biden administration, you're losing your mind, man. It's not. Look what happened with Trump. He had a great economy, but I mean, look at everything else. He couldn't have done anything different with this pandemic. They literally said that he closed it prematurely, and then they said, why didn't you close it earlier? Like, everything. And you know what's going to happen? The GOP is going to give all of the left the same shit. for the next 4 years or 2 years until the Republicans flip the House again. You know what I mean? Like this is just a game of back and forths. And because Trump was so cool, it was like it changed everything. Well, I was always interested in politics. Once every single person got into politics and every single person had to talk about it 24/7, got overwhelming. And I wanted to see Trump win just to fucking piss these idiots off a little bit longer. You know, I can't believe that like some of these people are just they're such political like dorks now. That's all they want to be is like telling people to fucking get their sources out and send me article. Like I couldn't imagine. I've always been interested in politics, but now that it's literally mainstream now. Everybody's Twitter page, it tells you exactly what you need to know about them. It's all the exact same. Whether it's right or left, it's all the exact same. I mean, right is kicked off of everything. So like, did we really win? None of us have Facebook pages. None of us have Twitter pages now. Most of us have lost YouTube channels. All because of this. All because of this. And I feel like these people think that everything's going to just change now because Biden may be in office. Trump's still president right now. And we have that idiot Scaramucci. It's got to be a fake account because there's no way. He literally said Trump's had 4 years to come up with a COVID cure. Did he really say that? Is that for real? But regardless, you know, I loved this shit, man. And I loved the 4 years of all this shit. And hopefully there's another 4 years of this. But I'm not going to be the fucking cite your source nerd. I'm not going to do that. I love talking about it. But I mean, all these people like on on Facebook, I get people constantly when I use my Facebook, like direct messaging me. Well, where did you come up with that answer? It's like, look it up yourself. I'm not your teacher. I'm not giving you cited sources. Fuck you. Look it up yourself, man. I look all my shit up myself. I'm not bugging people to cite their sources. You fucking kidding? But yeah, so let's hope these things go the way we want, but if it doesn't, it doesn't, man. And that means in 4 years, Trump will run again and fucking shake everything up again. Let's hope, and have another four years of crazy shit going on again, right? Anyways, guys, that's about it for today, and I will be back probably tomorrow with another video. Thanks, guys.